got your own area.
Then don't ask them to pay for it.
And we're not because once again.
Oh, so you want them to stay away but foot the bill.
So you got to do that with everything else.
So somebody had comment before we even get in this one. Somebody comment on the last video on YouTube. It was saying, black fatigue, look up the book and all that. I just looked up the term and stuff and seen what it means and stuff, and just like it's basically the like title or the name speaks for itself. You know what I'm saying? Just exhaustion of having to, you know what I'm saying, prove yourself as a black person, or work 2 times harder to, you know what I'm saying, man? Especially like from history all the way up, because this term was back in the day on some shit, not some recent shit. And then recently, black fatigue is like getting called or used and shit, utilized.
Now it's the kid, now it's the boodle, and nothing is it. Stay away from us, but pay for us. Do you realize that guy's gonna?
But I think he was rage baiting on the last video. I want to see what this combo talking about.
If we don't give you that, then you got to go through everything.
And this nigga blind right here with the glasses. Niggas ain't even know until like.
Why do young black men fight in packs?
Welcome back. As
Why
I'm
do
sure
young
you've
black
noticed,
men
race
fight in
relations
packs?
in America aren't exactly where we would hope they'd be in 2025. And considering the events over the past year or few,
about 50,
one can understand
for real.
why.
It's not no like
22-year-old Logan Federico.
all the time.
You saw, and if, hold on.
Said earlier, and you just want to
Let me see what
say about
black fatigue.
See black
And if
fatigue.
you want, that's what prompted me to go back to the barber shop and start the conversation that you saw in part 1 of this video last week.
Have you guys heard of the term black fatigue?
And if you thought that under your butts,
Is when you have a young white person going, okay, why is this happening? What I said earlier, and you just want to, is when you have a young white person going, okay, why is this happening? And people go, Black Lives Matter. And they go, well, hold on a second. I have an opinion on Black Lives Matter. They go, well, sit down, shut up. Okay, now silence is violence. And that kid goes, well, what do I do? By the way, you're on the hook for reparations, even though his father, his grandfather, his great-great-grandfather didn't own a slave, and he's still 12 times more likely to be killed by a black person the other way around. You're going to, what I'm saying is society is going to create a generation of racists. What do you say to that young white kid? What do you say to him?
Stop watching. Stay off of TikTok.
Stop reading stats.
Stop paying attention to what these talking heads are saying, because they're leading you down the wrong path. They're leading you down a path of paranoia and conspiracy theories.
What if their interactions with black people in general are quite negative?
So, same thing. Give the same thing in reverse. What about black people who've had continuous, not only historical, but personal experiences?
Yep.
Where they've been at the wrong end of white people.
Here's the thing. I'll tell you.
And then we get told that those stories are invalid.
Bro,
No, you're not.
Yes, we do.
You're not.
I've been personally told my story was invalid.
I'll give you an example. And by the way, the only thing
he
that
gotta
keeps
be
my
speaking
heart
from
protected from
personal.
racism, by the way, the only thing that protects
He gotta be speaking from personal experience. Cause look, first of all, he's passionate about what he's saying, like a motherfucker. Like you can see the emotion coming out, but you can see like it's like irritation too with it. It's like a, you know what I'm saying? It's like biting at him. Like look
me from not wanting to go out and kill the person who shot Charlie
You can kill the fucking person that shot Charlie
Kirk. Because by the way, there are 2 people on earth who know what it's like to sit in that chair. Sure. Me and him.
Me and him.
And I just did it at SMU and had to have entire bulletproof glass and an
Entire bulletproof
army to go in and have conversation.
Have fucking conversation.
Right? So I'm a little
He passionate, first of all.
bit pissed off about it. Also, people have tried to take my life many times. So I don't really have a whole lot of sympathy for anyone, white or black, saying, oh, must be. Yeah. You ever have someone show up at your house? You ever have someone show up at your house when your kids are
This nigga borderline crazy, ready to do something to somebody. No cap. Be on beat around this nigga, no cap.
sleeping with weapons being swatted? Like, we've been living through this for a long fucking time and told you don't know what it's like. I will say this. My faith is what has protected me. My faith is what has protected my heart from becoming racist. But I've had a lot of negative interactions. That's why I'm sitting here. We'll have to edit this.
See? Personal experience. What I told you. I done had a lot of negative reactions. Personal experience. Whatever somebody done did some fucked up shit to him that make him feel this way. But that's not every nigga, bro. That's not every nigga. I done had some messed up situations with niggas and it's like, that's just how it is, bro. That's just like, you just got this specific. And that's why that info and that, what he want to call research, what he want to call data, stats, is skewed. That's why it's skewed, because he wanted to fit. Everybody look up stats to make it fit. You know, when a lot of people look up stats or research, they looking up this research to prove something that they already believe, and they looking up, is this why this happened? Because it's like, okay, this is what they believe in, and they just trying to prove it right. That bitch say no, big heart be like, whoa, oh snap, for real?
Just the word. By the way, if you want a relaxing vacation, stay home. Don't go to. I know, but my kids love it. So I go there, okay? And I'll tell you this.
Bro, how I'm not making no sense, bro? It's facts, though, bro. And I got 2 right now, whole time. How many on Twitch? Hold on, let me see how many on Twitch. Okay, and we got 1 on Twitch. 3 total. We just vibing. But nah, prove me wrong, bro. Prove me wrong. What's not making no sense, bro? What's not making no sense?
They have, you have like this magic wand thing, you run around the hotel and it opens up chests. Wow. And I'm sitting there, you know, I'm sunken eye, and there was a black guy next to me, obviously a dad with like his daughter and his son. And I just kind of looked at him, we looked at each other in the face like, yeah, we know. This is exhausting. And I know we have a lot in common because his wife or woman is probably in the room because he's there with his kids by himself. I was too. But then we were there at the water slides. My kids are 3. And this happened not once, but about 4 or 5 times. And it happened 3 times with one black kid who was about 5 or 6. Shoved my son out of the way to get on the water slide.
Telling you, personal experience. What you talking about ain't making no sense. What you talking about ain't making no sense, bro. Nigga talk about personal experience every time when it comes to proving his points. When it comes to, he had used this statistic that is damn near skewed. But come on, bro. He said a white person 12 times more likely to get killed by a black person. Bro, if that was the case, bro, America would be having military on niggas like this, bro. Like peanut butter jelly sandwich, bro. No cap. Come on now. That don't even make no sense. That's what I'm saying. He using this personal experience. Like, come on, he using his kid. I mean, it's hectic. That what happened. But, nigga, you should have been. I would have had my son push this little nigga down. Let me listen to the story. Cause my son ain't finna be getting
shoved
ran
him out
over,
of the way
bitch.
a second time. Came back. My son's 2-3 years, which is a big deal at that point.
My little son, what, 4, 5? And he 2?
Mom, no dad.
Tiny
I look,
bitch.
I just go like, hey, you know he's being aggressive. Okay, comes back the 3rd time. Separate. I go, hey, hold on, you have to wait in line. You know what my son said? My son said, well, Daddy, you know what? Maybe he's in a real hurry. We should let him go. That was a different interaction. That kid kept doing it to every other, and it wasn't the only one. And you know why? Because I've taught my kid, hey, you're gonna have people who look different from you, and it doesn't matter. You treat them well. That kid was.
And then why he lead off with that? You gonna have people that.
And I'm telling you, along with the empirical, anecdotally, if you have a young white person who has these interactions on a regular basis, and I'd be lying to you if I said they were uncommon, while being told they need to shut up because of systemic discrimination, you're gonna create a generation of racists.
I get it. But that child was poorly parented too.
I agree. We run into it all the time.
Hey Steve, that child was poorly parented. There's no way in the world their mother shouldn't have intervened and whipped his the first time.
No.
The dad did nothing, Steve?
The dad wasn't there.
There was no dad. That's what I said.
Mom, no dad.
No, I say because it's not a race thing. The dad, him and I looked at him like, dude, I get it, right? We're both tired. But here, this kid, I don't know, maybe the dad wasn't there. His mom didn't. And he shoved my son out of the way 3 times.
But poor parenting, though.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
We run into that all the time.
That's what I was about to say. It's poor parenting everywhere. And that creates individuals that grow up to be grown-up individuals.
Let me give
And
you one.
some of those individuals end up getting positions of power.
Well, see, can I just drop one thing real quick?
Yeah.
Actually, because I like the thing about choices. And you were talking about the federal department.
By the way, the whitest
I'm sorry. But I'm sorry, like there's a couple things. You said you ended up in and so you don't have to worry about things that people in South.
No, I said I've been afforded some things.
Afforded?
Yeah.
Why? How are you afforded that? You just happen to land
No,
here?
I sacrificed some things to live in.
Correct.
Right.
You made good choices.
I made choices. I
And when
made
we talk
choices
about
that.
and we talk about educational standards.
But I also had opportunities available to me too that some people didn't have.
Of course, everyone has a different
Right.
lot for sure.
Right.
Sure.
But you were talking about educational standards. Why is it that the Asian kid does 3 times to 4 times as much homework than the black kid, and the white kid does 2 to 3? Why?
Because it's culturally, it's conditioned.
Exactly.
So why is it better parenting from Asians and white parents? Why?
You said what?
Why is there better parenting? What he's trying to say is, you said bad parenting.
Well, I said,
so why is there better parenting from Asians
teaching,
and white parents?
Yeah, culturally, the educational mindset, culturally, when among Asians, they're taught from young that's primary.
Sure.
Over anything else, entertainment,
also obeying the law,
how you dress, none of that matters.
And it's,
Up here matters.
right,
Yeah,
and they're also
agree.
about 3 to 4 times more likely to have a father in the household than a black.
That too. That too.
Why is this disproportionately affecting this one community? Because I have a question because I
And
actually
then,
have,
bro, it's crazy because now he jumping it. He jumping the video to prove a point, and like, bro, it was like really calm, and you could like feel it. And I can't be tripping, bro. Like when I get this junk on YouTube, bro, let me know, bro, in the comments, bro. I can't be tripping. It's like his energy. You can feel his energy through the camera, bro. Like these dudes, both of them really like passionate about this topic and trying to prove a point. Like they want niggas to like listen. Like, look, this is really how I feel, and that's really how it be in real life, bro. A baby telling you how they feel 24/7. You just gotta really listen. And sometimes, and that's what I'm saying, bro. Was like Tanner Caffey was like, bro, just stop laughing out. You not making no sense. You don't got no views. On some jump, bro. That's what it is. It's like some people won't be able to hear it. Some people won't be able to see it because like you really gotta be tapped in. But like you could sense a bit of energy for real. And look, watch. I'm telling you, check me out.
my uncle, my aunt's married to a black dude, one of the most accomplishment of all time. Helicopter pilot, national park ranger, served his country, has a Ferrari in the driveway, right? He wears, crew socks, so we can forgive him for some things. But my whole life I've had this great black role model in my life. But then I try to ask questions, and I have a hard time asking him because I don't want to upset that relationship.
You're being responsible with your work.
So I want to ask now,
It doesn't help that you look like you're in the Third Reich.
I'm not even going to take the hat off. But then if you talk about there's no power. Well, we were talking about Charlotte, and you said the black activist judge. Well, in Charlotte, it's not just the black activist judge. It's the DA that's black that instituted those policies. It's a black mayor. So could we at least agree, before the Civil Rights Movement and now, do blacks have more or less institutional power?
There's been some bad and some good that came
We have
along
less
with the Civil
institutional
Rights
power,
Movement.
but you know,
Before the Civil Rights
but you know what we don't have?
Well,
We,
No,
as
more.
a community, we don't have the unity.
Well, here's the problem we have.
So the last thing I want to ask,
I
and
want to
I'll
ask you
get
a question before you say the last thing you want to
it
ask.
kind of all throws together, and I'll just let you go.
Okay, go ahead.
Is why was the black community one of the fastest growing economic demographics in the country? Why were there tons of fathers in the household? Black people were becoming great role models and integrating into society naturally. And now it's substantially worse
You know why it's
than
worse?
it was before Martin Luther King.
You know why it's worse?
Yeah.
Because of the fact that and I'm gonna say this openly because I can't get into the specifics, but I work for an entity that I was flabbergasted to learn this. All right, and what we do is we provide Medicaid, right? And this is a former campaign I worked on, and I was awestruck when I would have white females that would call, and they would call on behalf of their entire family, which included the husband, right? So many people say, well, the welfare queen is having more children because she gets more food stamps. Well, here's how it really works, and I can tell you this from firsthand knowledge, right? Let's say I've got a household of a wife and a husband, and I've got 4 kids. That household can earn up to $6,900, right? And here's what happens. Even if the husband is in the household, many times they're self-employed, so of course you can skew the numbers any way you want, and you and your family will continue to get full health care. A black mother is always told if there's a man in the house, number one, then it's a no-go, okay? Look at the Section 8 Housing Authority. Now, here's what happened, and you want to know what happened, what caused
I agree with everything you're saying.
Yeah, what caused the problem in Black America, what caused the problem in Black America is the fact that when the father became absent in the home, right? When he
This
became
nigga
absent
blind,
in the
by the
home, it
way,
left
too.
the mothers to bear the brunt. So
This
to
nigga
answer your
blind,
question,
man.
do we have more influence in some areas? Perhaps, but ask yourself this. Do we have more influence economically? Because if you go back and you look, prior to the Civil Rights Movement, let me tell you something right now. you had more black carpenters and tradesmen all over the place.
Overwhelming.
Yeah, that's right. But the problem is, again, if you agree with that, then you'll agree with the fact that if it had not been for the change in the systemic dynamics, that black men would still be in the home or what have you,
Right.
and the black
it's
family would
almost
still
like
be doing it.
federal government policy has not been instituted to help black people ever, but really to make them dependents of the state when they were doing just damn fine without the federal government that you want in more people's lives.
The only reason why
It's almost like, it's almost like reparations would be the same thing.
My question to that is, why is that a problem for white America? And we were
Because
already...
it's one country.
Because it's what?
We are one country, and the problems of one
We're
community.
not one country. We're an entity. We're a corporation. The United States is a corporation. It's not a country.
It certainly is. And with that attitude, we can never be a country. If that's the attitude that people
Because
have,
it's not a country. It was never built. It's written in the Constitution. It's a corporation.
that is
It's not a
definitely not
country.
written in the.
That is not written in the Constitution. That's just not true.
It's not a country. So what I'm saying is, when we were black people in our own communities thriving, like you said, doing our own thing, why was that a problem for white America? We were doing our own thing. Why did y'all come and burn down the Wall Street, the Black Wall Street? We had our thing going. Why is it an issue when we have our own thing going and we're minding our
He's
business?
speaking more on that
White
deeper
America
talk.
comes in and
He on
figure
that
out
deeper
a
level
reason
right
to-
now.
Oh, that's wrong. Y'all are doing something wrong. That's not by the code. That's not by the rules.
No one here is trying to justify clear racist policies of the past or racism of the past. Of course that existed. No one was arguing that.
Here's the thing.
We're not arguing. I'm asking why is that a
I'm just one thing.
problem?
It sounds like you're saying that you would want racial segregation because
I
you're
don't
saying.
know what works in segregation. We
That's what it
asked for
sounds like.
equality. We didn't get that.
But you're saying
Because
your own
when we
community
started
doing your own
going
thing.
to do our own thing.
Are you saying that
y'all
we should be
can't-
separate communities? That's what I'm asking. Are you saying we should be separate white and black communities? That's what it sounds like a little bit.
Separation may be the answer.
Okay. I
Separation could be the
appreciate your
answer.
honesty. I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah, separation could be the
But
answer.
if a white person says that, is it racist?
No, it's not.
Okay.
But
I think
I'll
that's
tell you like
completely
this, I don't
fair.
think we should.
But if you're saying it in a narrative that we're a threat to you guys, so that's why we want to be separate.
But you just said that white people are a threat to black people. That's what you just said. So why can't white people say it? And I don't think separation is the
I
answer.
didn't say that. I
don't
said
think
you guys find a problem with everything that we do.
If separation is the anser,
Yeah, well, reparations, come on with it.
So, who gets the
Bro,
reparations?
some of these people are not that. The blind dude smooth with the debating and discussion talk, communicating during the discussion. Dude with the short little dreads, he kind of decent too. Everybody else kind of brutal.
Right, so the federal
how about we pay none of it and let people make their own decision?
money would just go back to reparations.
Yeah, I can agree.
Answer the question of who should pay.
I ain't gonna say my own
The federal government should
personally.
be on the hook for some of that. But every single company
Personally,
that benefits
I don't
from
think-
chattel slavery, all the insurance companies,
In our
all the,
lifetime, we'll be
freight
able to
companies,
become
all those
one
companies that existed
and like
then,
live at
that
peace like
still
everybody
exist
across
now
the
in
world.
some
Not in our
way, shape, or
lifetime.
form,
It
they
could
should have to
potentially
pay
happen
into
because
that
I got,
because they
you know
are
what I'm saying,
profitable.
faith
Just think about
that,
this.
you know what I'm saying,
You insure
heaven
a
could be
slave.
on
When
earth
you
in
bought
that
a slave,
aspect.
you got insurance
But,
on that slave. That insurance company made money off of that.
Yeah,
And they
separation
What percentage?
is
what
the
percentage
answer
of the
is
workforce
kind
in
of
the United
crazy.
States do you
I mean,
think
but
were
it's not.
actually slaves?
I'm not surprised to
That
hear it.
might-
Let me say
I don't know
that.
what the percentage
It
was,
is
I know
crazy, but I'm not
all-
surprised to
I know
hear
we
it.
did all the
A
homework.
lot of people think that
I
on
know
both
what-
sides,
I
black
know the
and white. A
railroads.
lot of
You just
people
said the
do
railroads.
think that.
Why aren't the Chinese immigrants asking for reparations?
My fault. I gotta go back a little bit. Yeah, that's a good question though. See, I like when we had these engaging questions and shit, especially about topics like this.
What percentage of the workforce in the United States do you think were actually slaves here in this country? Because that might.
I don't know what the percentage was, but I know all the hard work. I know who did all the hard work.
No.
I know
And you know
who did
what?
that. I
You
know
just
who
said the
worked
railroads.
7 days.
You just said the railroads. Why aren't the Chinese immigrants asking for reparations?
Because they've already been gifted what they were gonna get.
You did what?
We did it for them.
You did it full?
For them.
No, the Chinese built the railroads. The Chinese were slaves. They built the railroads.
We did that for them.
No. The Chinese were the majority of the slaves building railroads.
Now, on
They
the
didn't get
railroad,
reparations. They don't want it.
Well, I tell you what.
Bro, see, they
next
not
time
good
we'll have you a
debaters,
Chinese
bro.
dude in here, so you can ask him that. I don't give a I'm talking about black people.
Can you guys deal with the
I'm talking
straight
about
hair like
black
that?
people.
Yeah, actually, yeah. That's another misconception that we get all the time too.
We can cut any kind of hair, but we're talking about what black people. Hold on. We're talking about where the money's supposed to come from. It's companies that are $1 trillion, $1 billion companies that started in the 1600s, 1700s that are still around, and they benefited and profited immensely from that.
What if it's a company that never had slaves? Should they pay reparations?
No, not that the company had slaves, but we had companies that insured slaves. You had companies that transported slaves.
But what if it's a company that did none of it? Should they pay?
No, if they didn't have anything to do with chattel slavery, no, they
Right.
shouldn't.
Neither
but
did
the
I.
companies that should.
But let me say this.
But your
I mean,
grandfather,
but you understand the point?
But if your grandfather was here in the United States, I don't know. You said you from Canada. I don't know. We might. We not worried about it. We worried about the people.
What if your grandfather was a slave owner and mine wasn't?
My grandfather was.
What if he was? But my point is, what if he was? Because
my
mine's not.
grandfather was a sharecropper in Plaquemine, Louisiana, in a little
Right.
small town called Bayagula. So
Yeah.
he was
That
two
boy got the
generations
receipts.
removed from slavery. So I know.
But
I
this
have
what
a-
I say after he's saying that. It's a lot of black people specifically, but it's a lot of people in general that don't know anything about they great grandma or their great granddaddy and like I don't know. Honestly, to keep it about, I don't know nothing about like my past. Like I don't know like if my great great grandma, you know what I'm saying, was in the field or what, man. I really just don't know nothing. And it's I think it's like that for a lot of people. A lot of people don't be knowing their history. Families not even families just breaking up more and more in the black community for real. I mean, it's hard out here for a pimp when you're trying to get it running for the rent.
What if I have
My
no root in slavery?
great-great-grandfather.
What if I have no root in slavery?
Well, you don't owe nothing. You don't owe anything. Your grandfather, if your grandfather from Canada, he wasn't down here owning slaves.
Okay,
he
I'm
don't
just trying
owe
to.
nothing.
So
If
then
your
people who didn't
grandfather was
owe,
down here telling
we
niggas
don't
what
pay
to do,
reparations.
he owe money.
But Steve,
You know what I'm saying?
Here's what I'm telling you, though. Hold on a second. Here's what I'm telling you. If you're to go through the numbers, sir, do we agree? If I have no connection to slavery whatsoever, that I don't owe.
You, Steve,
Me.
You don't.
We
You
agree.
don't.
Okay.
You
So
don't.
do you realize that you could take all the white people in this country, and if you're going to add up everyone where you could actually trace the lineage to slave owners or had any involvement, you would end up with maybe 2 or 3%. 2 or 3% of white people in this country.
Bro, he guessing all these statistics too, bro.
Most of us have nothing.
Somebody did it. Somebody did.
Yeah,
And somebody
Africans
owed.
sold them into slavery.
Somebody owed.
It's still going on right now.
Somebody owed.
There are more slaves on earth right now than ever. Did you know that?
Steve, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. We're not gonna go.
I was gonna pull up some
research.
research
What's
real
going on
quick,
with
but
McDonald's right
I
now?
ain't even gonna do it.
McDonald's, the company?
Yeah, McDonald's the company.
I'm aware they can't get my fillet of fish right anytime I f***ing go.
Let me tell you what's really happening. I got a friend of mine who currently has 5 McDonald's locations, right? So there are many times he says, Cedric, sometimes I've got to get up at nighttime to go and check, even if the chiller goes out, right? So I said, man, why is that so? What's really happening? He said, Cedric, what happens is there are most black franchisees, right, that own these McDonald's. He said, we have to get them in the most low-performing areas, right? Never mind the fact that we make the same investment up front to purchase one of those McDonald's, right? So when you talk about that, let's look at the systemic and institutional biases that are involved just in that. You tell me I got to pay you $1 million to get a McDonald's, right? Same thing as my white counterpart. But yet, I'm relegated to take a McDonald's in an area that's probably highly impoverished. I've got to keep coming up with all kind of gimmicks to keep the foot traffic coming through the stores. Where nobody talks about that.
Well, what
So
about
as
the
you
flip
can see-
side of it?
What happens on the flip side?
What about the flip side of it? What about the fact that you have the government that has grants that they invest in black-owned businesses that don't happen for white people?
Let me ask you this, Steve. It's funny you.
Does that even it out?
But no. But here's something.
'Cause that exists.
Here's something you keep saying. You say that these grants exist for black people, but let me ask you. a
Okay,
question.
but my
How much
point
does
is
it actually
both sides of that coin, right?
Yeah,
That
okay.
exists for a
So we'll
reason.
go there.
What's the reason?
The reason is based on what he's saying. That's why it's an
Right, that's what I'm saying.
appropriate
But I'm saying, if you use his example of the McDonald's,
Okay.
what would be the reason for relegating the black owners to the low
Well, first
income
off,
neighborhoods?
I don't know. I'm not able to verify that all that's factual.
But that's-
I know. Were you
I'm just
told you
saying,
could only open here in nice?
Huh?
Were you told you could only open here in a nice?
Well, this is Steve's shop, but no.
Okay. Okay. But my point is,
But see, you have
it's
to
not just
understand something.
McDonald's.
Before
My
you
point
answer
on the
that
flip
question,
side,
you have to
though,
understand something. There's a difference in McDonald's and what have you.
Yeah,
Because the way that structure,
McDonald's
the way
has a
that
whole
hierarchical
different
structure
I
runs,
get it.
they will designate you certain areas of what have you that you will be awarded a location in. You just don't have the right to say, okay, I'm paying $1 million.
That's the same
I
for
want to start
everyone.
Plano. Huh?
That's the same for everyone. I know a guy. Well, he just died not too long ago. He had a bunch of which I don't know how they're still around. It's disgusting. But
Neither do I.
He had. It's awful. I have
Yes,
never had a
yes.
good meal at.
Good
But he had to be in
2 a.m.
certain too because they had to displace his franchise investment, right? That's part of it, where he was like, this one place is killing me, but as long as I get this spot, when I average out the 4 spots, okay, I can turn a profit. So this isn't unique to the black community. What is unique is investments from the federal government and state government into black-owned businesses to rectify it that white people don't get. So it's not enough. So what would be enough?
Because of historical injustices that have been done to impede black businesses. So
it's not enough now, but what would be enough?
You have to ask yourself, why would they do that? Why would they pay that?
What's the number?
Oh, because conditions historically.
What's the number, right? Public Department of Education, Great Society, Model Cities Program, black businesses, Pell Grants, affirmative action, DEI. It's not enough. What's the number that's enough?
Once again, just like we said about the civil rights movement, about the education and all that, you can do certain things in the name of doing the right thing, but you do it wrong. So
what's the number?
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't personally have an answer to that question.
One moment, just one second. Would you agree that if a young person who has no connection to slavery whatsoever, you probably need a number for them? Otherwise, they're probably going to be pissed.
They didn't need a number for Ukraine.
Sure,
they paid them same taxes. They didn't need a number for how much
You're
we were
talking
going to pay.
about reparations to a young person, right? In the name of sins of forefathers.
Oh, we got to comment on it too.
The number now is trillions of dollars. I get it.
Yes.
The government screws everything up, and I will agree on that. What's the number? You're sitting down right now with a 22-year-old white kid.
Give my daughter $15 million and we'll call it.
$15 million?
$15 million apiece. We'll call it square. That's for me and for them.
$15 million. Okay.
$15 million. Look, since a lot of people don't care about their taxes, add an extra 2% to what you pay in taxes. How about that? 2%. That's a number.
2% for how long?
Let's see. How long it was?
So 2% only for white people who have a connection to slavery at their forefathers, right?
How long were we in slavery?
You'd end up with no money.
200 and.
You'd end up with zero money. You'd each end up with about $14.99.
You keep letting our people off the hook.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about the government paying taxes. I'm not talking about just people who are responsible. Once again, I'm not responsible for anything happening in Ukraine, but I'm paying for it.
I agree.
So why should that rationale not transfer to this?
Because it's rationale.
It's not when the United States is the people who perpetrate.
Well, that's why I need to ask the number, because if you're talking about more than $15.
Okay, hold on. We got a question. I was reading this comment too. Somebody left a comment on the last video. It was the part 1 of this too, I think. Yeah. Genuine question. Do you think white people owe you anything because of what their ancestors did? Okay, I'm going to try to make this short too and not too long. All right, boom. Check me out. The whole thing about the history with America is what I believe is manufactured in a way to, you know what I'm saying, get their story across. The founding fathers, the people who end up colonizing here, the people who really pushed the pedal and accelerated the movement with creating America, making America America. I think those people I think the American people kind of let me see how I can explain it. How I think the people who started America, I believe they prepared everything and got America to where it's at in many ways in which we won't ever hear, where it's only high powers know, and that's from family secrets or just like being connected to other high powers or high like a high 1% of, you know what I'm saying, human population. They might know the secrets or family pass downs and shit. But I don't think what we know, everything that we know, I don't think everything that we know is what, you know what I'm saying, we got like a small percentage of actually what happened. So when it comes to, do I think we owe, America was created on people conquering this land. It was people already here on this land, you feel me? This land was conquered. Just like everything else in the world. You look through history, land was conquered. Empires was built and stuff. Just like a lot of people like to compare the United States of America to the Byzantine Empire, the old Rome, or what was considered the new Rome back then. But, I mean, they just took over the land. That's what it was. They took over the land. Like, niggas could cry all they want, but you know what I'm saying? The land got taken over and they created the country how they created the country. So it's like, what can you do? You gotta follow rules, you feel me? But do I think we owe because of what happened? I mean, the principle of doing it just because of everybody else I could see, but I just don't see it. I don't think it'd be beneficial, honestly. To like actually uplifting and bringing the black community together, I don't think that'd be beneficial at all to that. But I mean, for the just for principle, I mean, it's the Native Americans got paid, the Japanese got paid. You feel me? Cause when when they talk about the DEI programs and everything like that, bro, like, okay, my girl is white, so we just was having EBT food stamps. I end up we can't even get them no more because niggas make too much bread. I was like, man, shit, I'll go back to going making this, man. Low key, I was like, man, don't take the food stamps, man. Don't take the food stamps. It's like, it was a bittersweet moment because it's like, dang, that is kind of like a congrats, but it's like, no, hell, nah, ain't no congrats, bitch. I want them food stamps. But, I don't see it being beneficial, so I don't know. I really don't care about that junk. I mean, a lot of people just don't be seeing, like, history say a lot. And then just having that connection with God, it even, like, open the gate to knowledge for real. And to just, like, perspective and shit. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's.
You're talking about trillions of dollars,
right? But if we're gonna be a part of the same country,
I don't know. I just think shit should be fair for everybody in this country. Free will, freedom of speech. You know what I'm saying? Just
black people have achieved in mass. It's been torn down.
Respect the law, man.
And then you get to a point where you're talking about the riots, yeah.
Then you get to a point where you're like, I can mention there's several
keep
black
it fair for
communities
everybody. That's it.
There's one that's under Central Park in New York. Like, there's plenty. But my point is, then you get to a point where you say, okay, we're gonna do this in the interest of justice. But then redlining and all that stuff happens, and then the prison industrial complex, all of that stuff that happens that adds to the wrong of it. It gets mixed in.
Yeah,
we tried.
He getting frustrated. See, he hear what he's saying, and he's like, dang, he proving it right. And it's like, he getting frustrated with it, though. Do you think that shit is fair for everyone in this country? Does each race of people have the same opportunities? Okay, first question. Do you think that shit is fair for everyone in this country? Okay, I'm gonna assume that you talking about paying for what happened to the ancestors. I mean, in the text, you know what I'm saying? I don't see it being too much. I don't think it's look at all the other taxes we pay willingly. You know what I'm saying? That'd be probably like $27 out of bid check. But does each race of people have the same opportunity? Yeah, in an aspect. When people ask that question, people be trying to just say in general. It's always in an aspect. Everybody know it's not what you know, it's who you know. It's a system for a reason. It's people that rich stay rich for a reason, poor get poor. That don't got anything to do with race. But just in general, do people have the same everybody got the same opportunity? Hell nah. For example, even just think about this. the percentage of black people getting raised and born in poverty compared to the percentage of white people being born and raised in poverty, that number speaks for itself when you talk about have the same opportunity. It's obviously a percentage shift. But like, I mean, my whole point with all of this is like, it is what it is. This land wasn't conquered to be fair to everybody. It was conquered to be fair to the people who conquered this land. That's just like if you work super hard to get this land and then you allow people to build on your land that you got and y'all create a community. If you work so hard to actually get this land, you will want it to run properly in your perspective. So if something seems out of line and you the one who created all this, you gonna want to fix that and have it go in the perspective of what you think is right. That's just like this country and the people who actually run this country. Because a lot of people like to say president this or senator this or mayor this or motherfucking city council. They be wanting to point the finger at everybody, but it be a whole nother people that's controlling this world for real, controlling things that be happening and shit. But that's just like that deeper level. That's that deeper level talk. They don't be ready for that.
It was the rhetoric and the reasoning behind catch and release, doing away with the three-strike policy. You point to New York. You got a black mayor and crime got worse.
Because he's a criminal.
And because you got 30 million people living in a
white guy before him. He was grabbing, grabbing every guinea intern.
And probably the white guy that put him in his spot.
Okay, so it's worse. In other words, it's worse, right? Mm-hmm. Because of the prison industrial complex. That's why that guy was out 14 times.
But I'm saying that's also why you have less fathers. That's why you have less fathers in the home. So redlining and the prison industrial complex is the two main caveats to less fathers in the home.
We've done the opposite of the prison industrial complex. Violent offenders are being released into society and committing crime in record numbers right now.
And nonviolent offenders are being held on petty charges.
No, they're not.
I've personally done the numbers on
How did that guy get out after 14 times? George Floyd 9 times. Do you realize 11 times arrested is the average murderer?
And you got people in there for weed charges that's in there for...
It's not a thing. It's less than 0.5%
personally
of federal penitentiaries.
And that's the thing. When you tell somebody that personal knowledge don't matter because the stats matter more, I personally know this. I know somebody right now that's in jail for small shit, but I know somebody else that did some big shit. And they out.
Small, define small. So he had a joint on him.
Selling weed.
He's in prison right now because he had a joint.
But a small amount
One time he got caught selling. One time a small joint he was selling.
No,
let's talk about small things. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
That's a small man argument.
Bro, this man's debate be so, and that's why I say by like this, they don't have no great debaters. A great debater, put this nigga on hush mouth, Ben.
And one time,
especially someone who like come prepared with this debate with, you know what I'm saying, facts. They done just looked up recent facts about it. Because if you just come empty-handed, it's like, man, you gotta have some type of evidence. So let me read this too real quick. The actual systematic, the nigga spelled systematic wrong. The systematic racism wasn't long ago, so I have sympathy for the grievances. That being said, we can't move on as a nation until we stop all the special treatment and lower standard GI. Racism to a white being fashionable, acceptable. Hey, I think that Black Fatigue video might low-key go crazy, bitch. Okay, then. This gonna be the part 2. Oh, shit, dog. Oh, shit. I was reading the comments, though. But, bro. And I'm telling y'all, bro.
It was one time.
He got caught one time selling
weed. No, I don't know. It wasn't his first time. No.
Okay, so he got caught multiple times.
Yeah.
And he was selling weed.
But every time wasn't the same thing.
Do you know how many people die from lace weed?
I don't.
You know about the fentanyl problem in this country?
Yeah, I do know about fentanyl.
You know that most people aren't trying to get fentanyl, right?
But
weed itself never killed anybody.
I'm about to say fentanyl ain't our thing.
No, what I'm saying is, do you realize why trafficking drugs is a problem? You said a little thing. Can I tell you that if I had a white friend who was caught trafficking drugs, and I don't think weed should be outlawed, by the way, it's bullshit. Just to be clear. But if I had a white friend who was arrested the umpteenth time for selling a brick of weed, I would go, yeah, that makes sense. We would expect it.
Not for weed.
Of course.
Not for me.
Selling weed, yeah. Selling a giant brick of weed multiple times, yes. Yes,
and
those are choices.
And at the same time, I know people personally that like, You got dudes out here like selling all kinds of other shit. I ain't gonna even put names on it, but you got dudes out here selling all kinds of other shit, and they free. They've been arrested a couple times too, but they back out.
But at what point do we say, hey, you know what? Once you've been arrested for trafficking, for selling drugs, if you do it again, that's kind of on you.
Cocaine, man, we'll let you back out for cocaine. Oh, meth, don't worry about it. Sit in the pen for a couple
You said a little
years.
thing.
Going
That's
back
not
home.
a little thing.
Weed? Oh no, 8 to 9 years. You done.
See,
how about
they
this?
don't be arguing to
Someone who
like
goes out and commits
make
multiple
sense
crimes
of
and
each
felonies,
other. They
we
argue to
doesn't
prove the
get any
next person
reparation.
wrong.
Because
And
the white kid who didn't break the law, who never had
he
any
used a
slavery
lot of
as a father,
emotion. Him
shouldn't be paying for someone
specifically.
who's a
Him
serial offender.
specifically.
Could we do that math? Would that be fair?
No.
Nope.
No.
Okay.
Absolutely
And
not.
the reason why, once again, because
I'm trying to find some common ground because that white kid.
And I'm trying to tell you, you're trying to start the starting point right here when you're not factoring in what happened to get that kid in that low-income, impoverished environment that created the criminal that he ended up being.
Oh my God, this is what we do. It's not crime, it's poverty. Then why do poor white people not commit violent crime at the same rate? It's not even close.
do.
No, they don't.
It's just usually different types of crime.
No, they do not.
They do.
It's a fact, dude.
Y'all just shovel them all
They
in the
just
trailer
different
park,
types.
act
Yeah,
like
they just
don't
different
exist.
types of
No,
crime.
no,
and then
we
they go
don't
off.
sho-
They
we
go
don't
off
shovel
in
in the trailer
hills and
park.
live-
They sell.
They go off in the hills and live amongst the rest of the toothless hillbillies, but they do.
About that. You don't hear it.
Yeah, they just don't.
We're talking about statistical realities.
There's no cameras over
of the
there.
young white male, when the young white male is the real threat to America as it stands.
You know what? You're right. I agree. You're right about that. Because young white males are going to be the majority with guns, and if you keep telling them that they're fucking criminals and they should pay for people's bad decisions, you don't want to see them angry.
see, bro, he trying to, bro, it's crazy, bro. Cause now that wait, hold on, I'm finna get right. Cause now that I peep, bro, it feel like he's trying to push an agenda for like, and he probably targeting like young white males and trying to like push them to feel some type of way. Cause it's like, bro, like I don't even know. No, it's crazy. Let me know. Okay, that's the whole thing. Somebody let me know in the comments. Okay, I could understand getting other people's perspective point and stuff, but just simply somebody let me know if you was somebody that had super bad situations when it comes to you engaging with African American, Haitian, a Jamaican, somebody, a black person. Comment down below, please, and let me know. Cause like he making it seem like, come on, bro. A white person 12 times. More than 12 times is likely to get killed by a black person is crazy. 12 times is crazy. Like, just think about it. The United States of America, a black person is 12 times more likely to kill a white person. That is crazy. What? That wouldn't be happening. Trump would dare to drop the nuke on America before he let that happen. Come on now. That's a crazy statistic that he keep on trying to stand on and promote and push. That's what I'm peeping now. So we gonna just react and watch the rest of the video, but I'm finna go grab some. Alright, bro, we gonna tap back in. My fault. But let's see what this
way,
nigga talk
way
about.
more
'Cause
angry
he low-key
than I
might
ever
be
was.
pushing
And
an
that's
agenda,
why
bro.
they could, if
So they're getting their ass
Steve,
kicked.
if they're that angry, why they only killing each other in their communities? When's the last time you? I mean, how many? Let's look at recently.
That's a good
The
question.
shootings
Why are
that
they not
have
killing
happened-
black people?
No, you know,
Why are young white
but
people
here's
not?
the point, because they're able to understand
the
that
ones that
these are not the problem. They're not. Listen, they're able to understand that. You know what? Perhaps I've been looking at it and I've been taught wrong. Maybe the problem lies with the person who I've been looking up to for all my guidance. Because listen, I mean, think about it. Even with the most, and let me tell you this, I'm going
This
back
player
to saying
vibe
this.
tastes good.
I don't care who you are and what your political dissidence is.
Way
there's no
better than all the other
justification
ones.
for going out taking the life of someone. Just because you have a different opinion of mine doesn't mean I'm going to get angry enough to say I'm going to go out and shoot you, right? When you go, when everybody asks me, because I got people who ask me,
That's
man,
facts.
what did you think about this incident with Charlie Kirk? I say, you know what? People are not going to want to talk about it. I say, but this here was really a situation where this kid, more than likely, wasn't angry because of what was happening in Black America.
No, he wasn't.
Right?
That wasn't.
He was angry because of the fact that Charlie Kirk had a different opinion about people who are homosexuals. You understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And that was the cause that I believe in my mind personally that led him to say, you know what, this has got to be stopped because of the fact this guy is talking about someone who I love, okay? So let's talk about that. That crime really probably could be looked at more as a crime of passion versus a political outcry for difference. You understand?
No, it's political assassination. But here's one thing we can all agree on, right? The guy who shot Charlie Kirk, okay, his roommate, his lover, was a dude who was claiming he was transitioning to a woman. You're just fucking gay at that point,
You're just
right?
gay. Let's call it for what it is.
Right? Yeah.
You're just gay.
Can we all agree on that? It's like, he's not even a chick yet.
My question is, like, out of that tragedy, why did the next day black communities have to get threats?
They did.
Yes, they did. Southern University. I'm personally
you're
tied
talking to the
Southern
wrong guy,
University.
pal.
No, I'm just asking.
I can tell you who got the
Southern
threats.
University in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
I'm personally tied to that school.
No, you know who got the threats? Let me
Southern
explain.
University got one.
You're turning this into a race thing where I agreed that it's not. But let me tell you something. Every single vigil, every single memorial, where, by the way, both black and white conservatives tried to mourn peacefully their own, desecrated, attacked, assaults, even in war, they let you bury your dead. And that's because of radical LGBTQAIP. That's not a race thing at all. But it's the same wing that's pushing reparations. So when you're linking arms with them, we need to hear you disown those people, too.
So here's the thing.
You say disown them people, but them people,
Hold on,
American people, bro.
There's a large contingent of black America that does disown them. They don't speak for us.
Right. Absolutely.
Now, on the
Facts,
right,
huh?
there's the Jared Taylors and all of these different people, these super Christian nationalist dudes. I don't see nobody on the right separating themselves from him.
Well, we don't need to, because Richard Spencer and David Duke voted for Biden and Harris. Sorry, David Duke endorsed Jill Stein.
Richard Spencer, though.
What I'm saying is white supremacists don't vote Republican.
They
vote Democrat.
Jared Taylor did, and he encouraged all of his people to.
Jared Taylor is not the, first off, he's not in charge of the KKK or like that. He's one who's talked about race and IQ. And I don't know that he did vote for Donald Trump. But I do know that
people, the Patriot Front and all of them dudes subscribe to that.
There's nothing that's conservative about white supremacy. That's why they don't vote conservative. They vote Democrat. They're socialists. But the issue here that we're talking about is, again, I agree with you on Charlie Kirk. It's not political. That's why I'm going, I don't think that you realize you pivoted it into a race issue and said black people were more at risk.
Well, you just asked why we didn't separate ourselves from the
No,
extremists.
I
and
said
I'm saying,
after.
why don't y'all separate yourselves from the extremists?
Well, of course we do.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm telling you, they suck.
I haven't seen that. I personally haven't seen that.
We all do. It's never enough.
I pay attention to all that stuff.
We all do. Donald Trump did. He was still able to raise. He said, I'm not talking about white supremacists and neo-Nazis who are horrible and should be condemned totally. The media cut it out. Did you know that?
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah. You probably heard he said there were fine people on both sides, right?
I heard that clip.
Right
but
before that,
right before that,
he goes, look, I'm not saying white supremacists are neo-Nazis who should be condemned totally, but outside of that, you had, on this monument argument, fine people on both sides.
And you had some very bad people in that group, but you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay? And the press has treated them absolutely unfairly.
Why do you think the media lied to you?
But if he said if that's true, then let me ask you a question.
It is true. I can show you the clip.
Well, why did he not sue those media networks like he said when the interview with Kamala Harris was edited?
He did, and he won.
Well, why was that not publicized?
Why do you think? Do you think the news agencies want to publicize or lose it?
That was going to be my next point. Is media does what it does on both sides,
No, the media is incredibly left.
See, that's the point.
If
That's
you
the
line up
problem
the
we always
media-
have is because when one person says,
Yeah.
well, there's problems on your side too,
Sure.
you say, well, no, you dismiss those, and you say, we're just going to point to your problems.
Nope.
And that's
Name
the
me
problem
one
black
right-wing
folks have
source
with
of
white
media.
America is
Name me
pointing
one
to our
outside of
problems
Fox
without
News.
acknowledging y'all's.
Name me one outside of Fox News. ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, CNBC, MSNBC. Local. Name me one outside of Fox News that's conservative. You can't.
Breitbart.
That's not a mainstream outlet. Breitbart.
it's-
Then we could go Salon. Then we could go
it's-
HuffPo. For years in this country, ABC, NBC, CBS. Now you go CNBC, MSNBC, CNN.
And once again, all of them
are
got
left.
their shit. All of them got their shit.
All of them are left.
Yeah, all of them got their shit.
New York Times, Washington Post. Go through them.
All of
Right?
them
We
got
have to
their
agree on that. That's why you were lied to.
But that's the thing. People lose the ability to think critically, think for themselves, and they just lean whatever way the publication or the platform is telling them.
Right.
Now it's up to the people that run these platforms and publications to be responsible with their words and how they're leading people. But you got one half of the country that's purely led to think that these people are bad, and then that's all it is. It's just
I think they're bad. I think people who cut out Donald Trump saying, not saying white supremacists and who should be condemned. I think the media that cut out on January 6th, where he said, of course, make your voices heard peacefully, patriotically, but peaceful. You have to be peaceful.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the.
I'm talking about is there are young white kids who don't get good breaks either, right? They have some tough breaks, and they don't commit crime in record fucking numbers. And blaming them for this country.
There's a lot of black people that don't commit crime in record numbers.
Statistically, it's not the same thing. There's most of them. Most black people don't.
Right.
But a young white kid is 12 times as likely to be murdered by a black male than the other way around. In other words, white people, like you said, we're not going in killing black people. That it is absolutely a fact.
so hard to
What if it is true, guys? What if that stat is true?
That's what I'm saying. Where is it happening at?
The real Earth.
Where is
What
that
if it's true?
happening?
Hey, what if I could show you the clip and Donald Trump said, one second. Look, I'm the fucking minority here. I get it, right? I'm outnumbered. But what if Donald Trump actually said what I just said? And why don't you know? What if the stat I'm giving you is true? And why don't you know? At a certain point, hey, if you want to blame institutional,
publicize everything.
If you want to blame a systemic, institutionalized, right, wrongdoing, maybe you should look at you guys being misinformed.
The whole
Because that's
thing
a
is
fact.
fucked up. That's my
So
point.
we
The whole
misinformed about
thing is
Donald Trump
12-time
now
murder
ordering the
rate.
military
The
to go
whole
into
thing is
black
12-time murder rate.
black
That's a
cities.
fact.
Is that misinformation as well?
What was that?
Is that misinformation?
I didn't hear what you said, I'm sorry.
Is that misinformation when you look at Donald Trump ordering the ICE to go into primarily black cities along with the FBI? Is that misinformation? When you talk about New Orleans,
What else can we say about those cities? What else can we say about those cities?
Question, Steve. I'm asking a question. Is that misinformation? See, you
The way
can't
you're
cherry
presenting it,
pick-
yeah.
No, Steve, I asked you.
Is it because they're black? Or is it because they're sanctuary cities?
See, that's
Were they harboring illegal aliens?
another bullshit term that
Oh
you
my
guys
God.
have adopted on the right. Come on, man.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
no, it's an
always
actual policy.
it's
You know
it's
that?
always a
It's an actual
dismissal.
policy where they don't deport and they actually subsidize illegal. You hear about Aurora, Colorado?
Steve, I'm gonna share
And I'm
something
with
with
the
you, and I
Latino-
hope I don't lose my job behind what I'm about to share with you. Let me tell you something.
I hope
right
you don't
now.
either.
Let me tell you something right now. There is a big push with this immigration bullshit that is placating the public. Because let me tell you something. When they come to this country, the minute they hit the shore, the first thing they do is call and say that I want Medicaid. And guess what? By law, there is a record called non-citizen emergency expedited Medicaid. We have to give it to them, all right? So if you want to turn around and talk about immigration, then you got to talk about the corporations and stop incentivizing this shit to happen,
And
all right?
nobody's
'Cause when
asking why they
come
gotta
in,
pay that.
nobody says that. No, nobody talks
I
about
agree with you.
that,
Why did Kamala
right?
Harris say that illegal aliens can't get Medicaid?
But the problem
I agree with
existed.
you.
The
It's a
problem
lie.
existed
They
long
can't.
before Kamala Harris, though.
No, what I'm
It
telling you is that the
existed
left,
long before her.
why do you think we have a government shutdown right now?
But that's what I'm saying. All
Right
of
now, because the
We're at
left
a
wants
government shutdown because of healthcare. It got that goddamn thing.
healthcare for who's going to be beneficiary?
I bet-
Illegal aliens.
Yeah.
But see, you say that, but
You shouldn't
illegal
pay for that. I
aliens-
agree,
that's
right?
Just like
Someone
saying
here
that
illegally-
illegal aliens can vote, and you damn well know they can't.
Of course they can.
No, they can't.
How do we
How
do
many
it?
instances have you seen?
How many states have voter ID?
Are you kidding me? When look, man, I'm from Louisiana originally. Okay, when I go to vote, damn it, the first thing they ask me to do is, please let me see your ID.
Yeah, how
You
many
show me-
states have voter ID?
Okay, then you tell me the number. You got the number.
It's
You got
over
the
20 that don't.
So over 20 states that don't.
We were told illegals couldn't get on Medicaid, but here they are.
But I just told you that I just told you that.
I agree
that
with
is
you.
that is something that has been going on in this country for damn years. Because you know why?
So
You
let's
gotta
deport
ask
them.
yourself, who's the corporate benefactors? If you're gonna do that, then make sure that.
Well, you know why? Do you know about the census rule change?
No.
And by the way, this actually directly harms the black community, specifically the black community in a lot of ways because you have a much more comparable percentage of the population to like Hispanics, right? More than white people. You're close depending on the state. The census rule that they wanted to change, which you can thank Donald Trump for reversing, was going to count people in the household whether they were legal or not. Do you realize that would actually change district seats, voting patterns, and the Electoral College? Why should someone here illegally be able to be counted?
Electoral College does need to be changed.
My point is, it would have been changed based on illegal immigrants. People who, and you know what else is pretty, hey, there's also a pathway to citizenship from the Democrat Party. So if you vote for us, you're going to get your free shit. And you know who pays for it? All of us. And you tend to have more Hispanic people in the black community who are there illegal. You live in closer proximity. My woman is Hispanic. She's Latina. Of course, she's nuts. But she'll tell you, because she has family members who are here legally, they're not at risk. Sanctuary cities are a problem.
What about the companies that employ these illegal immigrants? See, they keep...
Punish them all.
Yeah, because once again,
punish them all.
Somebody...
Are you going to punish the hand that feeds you? Come on.
Hold on,
doesn't feed me.
Hold on, I'm asking a question.
Yeah.
The companies that employ these illegal aliens, they're profiting not only by the normal margin, by an increase because they're paying less to these people. But one thing, living in Texas and Louisiana, who gonna pick that fruit?
Oh, plenty of white people.
Who gonna pick?
Plenty of white people.
Man,
Plenty of white people.
Y'all, white people ducked and ran from picking that
Didn't you see that?
Slaves.
Didn't you see that? There was Ohio, I think it was Toledo, the meatpacking plants. Once they said we can't hire illegal aliens, it was a line around the block of white people. Do you realize that the enrollment in the trades has gone up?
They was inside. I stayed out there in that sun. Who gonna get out there in the sun and get them strawberries?
Hey,
who gonna get them peaches and them apples?
You know who did that? Me.
Ain't no white people out there doing that.
Did you know I did that?
Ain't no
that was one of my jobs.
Ain't no white people out there.
I did a part-time job working in an orchard, and then I worked construction. Why wouldn't we do it?
How many white people? You might have been out there. How many of them was out there? I done drove by the
They weren't out there because it's slave labor.
And seen them Latinos out there.
I never thought I would see a black man advocate for modern slavery, because that's what that is. That's modern slavery. That's modern slavery.
They should be paid more for the work. That's hard work, man.
They shouldn't be here illegally.
Somebody got to get that cabbage out there. Somebody got to get them sweet potatoes out the ground. Somebody got to do that. White people not going to do that.
Of course we will.
Once again, when the work got hard, that's when they went and got slaves.
Yeah, white people don't know hard work.
The Indians broke down. They went and got black people. They got the Chinese. They conned them in doing the railroad, like you said. But when white work get hard, white people ran from that kind of work. So if you can't tell me in 2025 you're going to go find one of them new generation upset white boys that's going to get out there and climb that tree and get them apples out of it.
It's a statistical reality. I'm telling you.
That's not
and hey, what do you think happens when people coming from the third world aren't working here illegally as modern-day indentured servants, slaves? What do you think happens when they're not there? Wages go up. Why would you pay more when you can have somebody off the books?
TikTok, that's not me. I'm just reacting to a video.
By the way, that hurts your wages too.
How can I appeal that job?
You got to pay them more because that is somewhat a form of slave. That's some hard work out there. That's some hard work out there. But the companies that employ the Tropicanas, the Del Montes, the Libby's, all those companies that get the people, somebody got to get them green beans. All those companies are profiting from that cheap labor. Somebody got to pay. So if they're profiting from that,
I agree.
Those are the companies that need to be punished.
They should be punished, and the government that incentivizes it should be punished.
Whoever
government is incentivizing it because they're stealing food from your kids' mouth.
The borders
we can agree on that, hopefully.
I'm all with that. But if you're going to let them in here and somebody going to profit off of it, make them folks have to spit that bread out. Because if you punish
TikTok, man, come on, bro. I'm reacting to something.
Profit off that illegal labor, you got to make it so punitive that I don't need to get that illegal labor because it's killing my profit.
But if we apply it, and I agree with you, punish them, right? I agree with you 100%. Wouldn't we also apply it to sanctuary cities that have harbored illegal aliens and prevented the deportation? By the way, you know Barack Obama deported.
A sanctuary city, that's a city where you can come if you're an illegal alien.
And they will protect you from deportation.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Exactly. That's why
I was born here, so I don't give a damn about nobody that's illegally over here. If you ain't supposed to be over here, you got to deal with it.
I agree.
You got to deal with it.
I agree, and anyone who's sponsored it should be punished.
My kids was born here. My mom and my daddy was born here. My grandparents was born here. And so we here. So if you're not supposed to be here and you don't go through the legal channel, you got to deal with the consequences of that.
Yep.
Yeah,
no, I agree.
I'm not here for harboring nobody.
I am for legally having a path to citizenship.
Right. That's different. Legal immigration is different.
Yeah. I agree.
Legal immigration is different.
And by the way, it shouldn't be easy. It shouldn't be easy.
You should have to pass some tests.
It is.
You should have to pass some tests to prove that you're going to be here. You're going to contribute.
Once again,
I agree.
Once again, if I just went to Montreal. If I wanted to move to Montreal, I'd have to do some shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like it take like 3 years for me to officially become a citizen, and there's a lot of stuff that I had to do in them 3 years.
Yeah.
To prove to them that I'm worthy of citizenship.
Well, it's even worse when people hear. This is why I say people don't realize that America is actually they provide more opportunities than any other country. You don't get assurance maladie in Quebec unless you've been employed and paying taxes. I think unless they changed it, I haven't been there since 2004, 3 years. So in other words, you do not receive anything comparable to EBT, SNAP, any of that unless you are a tax-paying citizen with a record. They don't let people come there, white or black. Also, they are way more racist than America. People don't realize that. French Canadians, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
They're super racist. And the reason, like, my experience has been that Americans are the least racist people of all the countries. That includes Europe, that includes Canada. People think Canada's awesome, but French Canadians hate the Haitians because it's a French colony. They hate the Vietnamese. They're just awful.
That's what I was about to say. It's different pockets that they hate. They don't hate. They don't hate us, Americans.
Yeah, they don't like Americans.
I didn't experience that.
Yeah, they talk behind your back.
I experienced it. Well, that may
and it's bullshit too. They're jealous. They're jealous.
But they gonna do that here too.
Ain't been.
So,
No, I know. Yeah, no. Canada's a silly place where, again, it's
Ain't been
bigger than the United
outside
States,
the
with a
US.
tenth of the population, and it doesn't have the same kind of diversity that we have here. I mean, when people point to Norway or these countries that have giant social safety nets, it's like take the population of Rhode Island. Hey, and I'm sure you could probably make it work better too if it was 100% black or 100% Nordic. When you have a cultural common ground, it's easier, right? We have a lot more pockets in this country than in places like Canada. It's a beautiful city to visit, though. I highly recommend it. To live there is awful. You want to pay 52% income tax and 14%. What was sales tax when you went? 14%?
yeah, sales taxes.
You know what's crazy about it?
Like that.
You're taxed on tax. So you have a bill, they tax 7%, total it, and then tax another 7%.
I was about to say they came and got some more money after we got back.
Yeah, that's socialism
Yeah.
in Quebec. And I mean, I've buried relatives from their socialized health care.
Which is why we need to fight harder to preserve this country versus, because see, we keep going back because of our ethnic differences and our beliefs and what have you. We can never move forward. And right now, we are in the fight of our life as Americans. Because let me tell you something right now. There's a huge push to supplant that damn dollar. And if you think that dollar doesn't mean nothing, you watch what happens when it loses that reserve currency status. You'll see what it's like to have a goddamn currency that's worth nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got to we really got to reevaluate. Listen, we're not gonna ever agree on every goddamn thing, but the one thing we gotta agree on is that we are Americans, and to the rest of the world, whether you black, white, Republican, Democrat, Independent, or what have you, you know what? They still see you as American. All right. So since we're one and the same, let's figure out what we need to do to address the real goddamn problems. You know. Now, as far as it goes for the young white male, I can't speak on his frustration. I simply hope that, you know what, we don't repeat the damn mistakes of the past, because look where it's gotten us after all these hundreds of years. We got to move forward.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not asking you to speak for them. I'm asking you guys to consider listening.
Sure.
Because they're at a point where I don't know if you know this. A lot of young white dudes have had some pretty fucking tough breaks and no advantages. And they grew up in an era. No. Look, everyone has it. Everyone has it.
Nothing about no poor disenfranchised.
But that's the disconnect, man.
Ain't nobody trying to hear that, man. That's
Okay.
real talk. That's
Okay.
real talk.
Well, real talk. 12 times the murder rate. You don't want to believe it? Fine.
I don't.
And that kid's not going to want to pay reparations.
You know what else on top of that?
Yeah.
I ain't scared. So you can throw them threats out there all you want.
I know you're not scared.
About what the young white
I know you're
man
not scared.
might do.
I know you're not scared because you're 12 times less likely to be the victim of a violent crime from a white person than he is of you. That's a fact.
No, I'm 12 times more likely to defend myself against some bullshit. So if the young white boy come with that bullshit, I'm gonna meet that.
That
bullshit
nigga's
with the
stupid, man.
bullshit.
A lot of white people going into black neighborhoods.
That's what I'm saying.
A lot of white boys going into black neighborhoods,
Everybody
around.
and ain't nobody playing. Understand?
What you guys, come on, let's real talk. You've never seen a white person come in solo into a black neighborhood and start a fight. I don't think.
Bro, but have you? That's what I'm saying. Have you seen it vice versa though? That's what I'm saying. He's saying 12 times more likely, bro. Have you seen it the other way around? Heck no.
Let's be honest, guys. You're not afraid of young white kids.
Steve, you saw a white man going to
If you are, correct me.
I'm agreeing with you, but I'm also giving you a flip side to that coin that you completely ignored.
No, because he said I'll stop some bullshit from a white. I tell you, young white guys are afraid when they're surrounded by black guys.
Okay, but don't come around black guys.
I'm afraid when I'm surrounded by a bunch of white men. I'm just not
if you that afraid of
gonna allow my fear.
I'm not.
No, I'm not saying you.
Dude, I'm surrounded. This could be an entire tornado of black fists raining on me for saying the wrong thing.
Steven Crowder, I'm talking to the boy that you're talking about. The young white boy that
I'm not even saying I wouldn't deserve it.
I'm talking to him. If you're that scared of black people, don't come around black people.
They're not scared. They're tired of it.
Well, don't stay away from us.
Great.
You got your own. You got your own
Great.
areas.
Then
stay
don't ask
there.
them to pay for it.
And we're
No,
not
because
oppressive.
once again.
Oh, so you want them to stay away but foot the bill.
So you got to do that with everything
And now
else
it's
in
the
the
kid,
tax
now
code.
it's the boodle, and nothing is safe. Stay away from us, but pay for us. Do you realize that
Once
guy's
again,
gonna
you're
hate
ignoring
you?
that other side of the coin. If we're gonna do that, if we're gonna give you that, then you got to go through everything, and you got to give us the same thing. We're not gonna pay for certain shit that we don't agree
Can
with.
I ask you something real talk? While we're having real talk, why do young black men fight in packs?
See, bro, where did this question come from? Where did this question come from? Like, what? And what? Why do they fight in packs? In packs, bro, what? That is crazy, bro. Is that a crazy question or I'm tripping? That's a crazy question. Because that's like a assumption. And you could tell it's based off personal experience or something. He must have got jumped or something by some black jets. That had to be like he got some trauma from his childhood or from in his past that got him feeling some type of way. You could tell from the way he talk and stuff. But what? That's a crazy question. You see so many solo fights. You see niggas taking on multiple dudes, bro. What? That's crazy.
A world star video.
Actually, I know personal experience. Young Asians fight in packs more than young black.
No, I'm talking about every time I tune in. When we
I used
see
to be a
this,
club bouncer, so I'm
talking about video after video of a defenseless
media,
person on the
bro.
ground getting stomped
That's
by
social media.
5
That's
people.
conditioning. That's something somebody propped up that wants you to see that represents black folks.
So you
And
think
that's the problem.
you think it's equal across the board?
That's the problem. No, I think it happens in any community.
Do you think it happens more from young black men than young white men?
No, it gets amplified more from young black men.
Do you think young black men commit violent crime more than young white men? Let's laser in. Do you think?
Amongst each other, yeah.
Do you think
not
that
amongst the populace.
you're saying you don't believe the 12 times rate? Do you believe that young black men commit wanton violence against white men more than white men do against black men?
No.
Okay. Then we're never going to find common ground or improve because it's a reality.
Right, because you believe that.
No, I know that. And I'm listening to the kids who are living that. It would be like me telling you in 1960s to black kids going, you don't know. Let me speak for you. You can't speak for those kids. It's what they're going through. Listen, I want to listen, but you guys need to listen to them too. This is not going to go
and
well.
I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. But I'm telling you, I'm just asking, while I'm hearing you say that young kid is feeling this way,
of course.
I'm asking you to tell that young kid, consider the people that came before him. Hold on. The reason why we're in some of these situations is because historically, we've had to deal with this shit forever.
That's why he's getting his ass kicked
And
at
we didn't
7-Eleven.
ask for none of this either.
That's why
we got here and had to deal with the historical ramifications of what happened
all across the country.
So
All across the country. It's a reality.
So when we're asking for it, it's invalid. But when he's asking for it, we're supposed to listen.
Okay, 19 of the top murder cities in the country are blue districts with exponentially larger black populations than the rest of the country.
What's up, y'all?
Chicago, Baltimore, St. Louis, Detroit, where I'm from, Los Angeles. No, 12 times the rate. I don't know if they're random, but yeah, more random attacks.
In those cities, blacks are killing black people.
You can say it's not.
Black people are killing black people at way higher rates in those cities.
Sure they are, but
So
they're killing
those
white people at 12 times the rate that white people are killing black people. That's a fact.
I think if that were true, Steve, we'd have a national outcry and the government would bring all their forces.
You're about to get one. That's what I'm here to warn you about. You're about to get one.
Steve, that's what
You're
I'm
about
saying.
to get one, and I don't think you guys see it coming.
No,
it's coming.
I see it, but what I'm telling you is you're not gonna see the exact. You're trying to equate the black crime to the white. It's not the same crime, because conditionally.
You're right. It's far more violent.
Culturally,
Bro, and that's the crazy thing whole time. Let me see how many views this nigga got. 5.79. Hold on real quick. How should I do this? Okay, yeah. Copy link. Look, we gonna see something real quick. Just real quick. This gonna be quick. We ain't even gonna take too long.
Outcry and the government will bring all.
The reason.
Let's see. So far, a year ago. I see a year ago, 2 years ago. He been going for a little minute now. Whole time. Yeah, he been going for a little minute. Bro, it could be some Civil War junk probably about to happen. I don't know. But this nigga definitely pushing an agenda or
Culturally,
something.
we've
Or
had
like
this
talking, trying to
generation
talk
after
some junk
generation
up.
of struggle and resistance. to oppression. We've had to deal with that conditioning over history.
Okay.
Y'all haven't. Y'all haven't. So there's less fight in you. You're right.
You tell that
There's
to a
less
kid in
fight
a
in you. There's
wheelchair
more
who was
fight in
getting a
us.
pack of smokes.
Huh?
You tell that to a kid in a wheelchair for life who was getting a pack of smokes and was being white in the wrong neighborhood. See if that argument works, and then ask them to pay for reparations.
Unfortunate things happen.
Are people ever responsible for their own decisions?
Yes.
What I'm trying to tell you is young white people are going, we're tired of being blamed for racism when we're getting beaten up, we're getting killed, and we don't have any affirmative action or DEI, and they're saying we need to actually have a conversation here.
Okay, I hear you.
I don't know, go to World Star, go to BET, go to any single rap track.
With the blacks beating up the white people.
Yeah. But because it's not coming across your algorithm, because the system is going to show you stuff that relates to you.
Are we going to act like World Star is just a nightmare I had at some point?
Those young white kids are going to see stuff that relates to them and their point of view. So if they believe that they're being hunted, they believe that people are out to get them.
If you want to see one, go to the Spirit Airlines terminal.
That supports that. That's the algorithm. That's why I say stay off of social media. That's some bullshit. Stay off of social media.
It's not an algorithm.
Think for yourself.
I agree. That's why I'm here.
Talk to people that's different from you and talk to them.
I agree, but I don't hear a lot of listening.
Listen to them too.
I am listening. I don't hear a lot of listening to young white kids.
And I believe
You just say that's not true.
I didn't say that.
I
never
think you
said
do
that.
have a pulse of that generation. I don't doubt that. But what I want to think, in my estimation, this is what I've observed. And I'm going to tell you, it was coming.
Why is that a
Why
problem?
would you? It's a problem because, number one, you didn't get the permit. You didn't even go the proper route to do it. Going this route.
Why is 6 HBCUs going on lockdown the next day behind what happened in Utah?
Well, every school was on lockdown, and so were churches.
Not every school.
Oh, yeah.
SMU wasn't on lockdown.
Right here, just the church had to go into lockdown. Is that a race thing?
SMU wasn't, though.
I don't know if SMU was. I know that they cleared out class for the day.
Goes there. They weren't.
He was called a fascist, a homo. I agree.
But there's okay. I'm gonna hear that statement and
to be here because I can tell you, based on
Dang.
one is addressing DEI and